Sri Lanka, also known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, has some of the most beautiful scenic locations in Asia. Famed not only for its golden beaches but also mist-covered mountains that create the perfect fairy tale setting. A trip to the coast would offer surfing, snorkeling, and scuba diving among the many other activities, while a trip to the hill country would help you relax and unwind to the soothing sound of water on rocks and views of tea pickers in the distance. The rivers and lakes around the country are numerous. The adrenaline rush from whitewater rafting is just exquisite. Sri Lanka has been a center of Buddhism and culture from ancient times and is one of the few remaining abodes of Buddhism in South Asia, as well as being a stronghold of Hinduism. The Candi Perahera epitomizes Sri Lankan culture with all its lights, colors, dances, beats, and elephants.
Sri Lanka.
Legend and history are intertwined in the story of Ceylon. According to the Mahavamsa, Anuradhapura is Sri Lanka's oldest kingdom. It also plays an important role in the Buddhist culture of Sri Lanka, for it was at the mountain in Mihintale that King Devanampiatissa received his first lesson in Buddhism. It's also home to the Sri Mahabodhi, which is at present one of the oldest trees in the world. Kings, grateful for receiving monastic support, provided living quarters, tanks or reservoirs, and farm produce to the monasteries as a symbiotic political relationship between religion and state. Mihintale, Minneria, Polonnaruwa, the mountains of Ritigal, Sigiriya, the city of Dambulla, Aukkana, and Vilppattu are situated a convenient distance from Anuradhapura. In 2004, a handful of hoteliers came together to form the Anuradhapura Tourism and Hoteliers Association in order to strengthen and improve the tourist trade in the sacred city. However, due to the civil war, the tourism industry didn't see growth until the year 2010, when it witnessed a great upsurge. Currently, the association has close upon 100 members, both large hotels and small guest houses. Projects carried out by this association include a ceremonial almsgiving at the Ruwanvelisaya, seeking to invoke the blessings, requesting for much-needed rain during a time of drought. Dry rations and water was distributed among the victims of floods in Ratnapura. Furthermore, drought relief was provided to the citizens with dry rations and drinking water, and also to 350 families in Notchagama. Relief for flood victims of Anuradhapura itself was given in the form of cooked food parcels and drinking water for 1,350 families. In June 2014, during a conflict that was taking place in Berula and various other parts of the country, pitting people of different religious backgrounds against each other, the association held a fellowship for the Buddhists and Muslims of Anuradhapura in order to curb such tendencies toward violence. If one was to walk around the city, the place isn't very pleasing to the eye. Stray dogs and cattle roam around the streets and hinder visitors and foreigners, causing many accidents during their stay here. We urge the relevant authorities to remove, sterilize and vaccinate these stray dogs and cattle to minimize the amount of accidents that do take place. Constantly alarmed by the increasing rate of pollution along the city's streets, and understanding that proper garbage disposal is vital for maintaining the beauty of the city and the maintenance of a clean environment, we strongly urge that suitable garbage disposal methods are introduced to the community. We have also noticed an increasing number of political and commercial hoardings erected on top of buildings, on posts and on roundabouts. The Association requests the removal of existing political and commercial banners and posters, and further requests the prohibition of such posters adorning public spaces. We suggest that roundabouts are refurbished in such a manner that the city's historical value is enhanced. Souvenir shops around the city sell low-quality items at exorbitant prices, and therefore we request that attractive shops and stalls are established to sell souvenirs at reasonable prices, and for a range of souvenir items of historical significance and value be introduced to the market. We observe police officers in their khaki-colored uniforms standing on duty at sacred sites, and we believe that policemen on duty should be clad in a white uniform instead of a khaki uniform, in accord with the sanctity of the venue. We also are deeply concerned about the poor toilet facilities for tourists around the city. We have observed the offensive odors emitted, the lack of water, and the absence of basic hygiene. We earnestly request that proper toilet facilities are maintained at tourist sites, with a proper supply of water and other sanitary facilities, believing that this would make their stay much more comfortable. Seeing the need of beauty in the city at night, we request an appropriate lighting system for the city and the roundabouts. Bearing in mind that the lakes and reservoirs not only have historical but also environmental value, we ask that these unclean tanks be cleaned immediately, and the roads leading to these water bodies be mended, and the barricades, which were set up during the Civil War, be done away with. Viewing with appreciation the amazing landscaping done in and around the city of Colombo, we encourage similar embellishment in the sacred city of Anuradhapura to make the lakes, already endowed with historical value, resonate with an environmental value and beauty. Furthermore, we also propose the introduction of pedal boats in selected water bodies around the city in the hope that this would further enliven the tourist experience. Most importantly, we ask that Anuradhapura, with all its unique attractions, be recognized for the potential it has as a tourist city. The Anuradhapura Tourism and Hoteliers Association. The golden chain of Sri Lanka tourism.